Tonight on the Fifth Estate, she became a symbol of courage.
My name is Rahaf Muhammad.
And hope to desperate young women.
Please help me, they will kill me.
But Rahaf was not alone. She was guided by a secret society that's also helping other women escape repression, despite the danger.
If you are watching this video, either I'm dead or I'm in a very, very, very bad situation.
I'm Nala Ayed, and I'll investigate the network that helped Rahaf and is now dealing with other women whose stories are still unfolding.
They will make my life hell.
Also in the Fifth Estate, for 70 years, this was a place where children suffered horrific abuse.
We were electrocuted in the electric chair.
But documents detailing the abuse at St. Anne's Residential School were hidden.
What kind of a cover-up is going on?
Until now.
I received 3 CD-ROMs of these documents in a brown paper envelope.
How Canada's government betrayed the students. Gillian Finlay investigates.
هذا الشخص يلحقني طول الوقت عشان ما أطلع من المطار.
It was one disturbing entry in a growing video diary, and we would never have seen it if not for the desperation of the owner. She would repeatedly put that phone to use at that airport to tell the world her story.
My name is Rahaf Muhammad. I'm 18 years old. I can't do anything because they have my passport, and tomorrow they will force me to go back to Kuwait. And I'm here. Please help me, they will kill me.
Determined to avoid that fate, she dug in. The world then invited into her airport hotel room as she transformed it into a one-woman protest camp.
I'm not leaving my room until I see UNHCR. I want asylum.
Her stand documented, also on phone by an Australian reporter who joined her.
I'm hungry and tired.
When was the last time you slept?
3 days ago.
How long are you planning on staying in the room?
I don't know, as I can.
But how could one teen with one phone draw such attention? What we didn't know was that she wasn't alone. A world away, a network of young women who recognized the danger Rahaf faced worked their phones to raise the alarm.
We helped a lot with reaching the media.
Others directly urged her to take yet another risk.
She was very scared to show with her full face. We were telling her, Rahaf, if you didn't that, you will die. So just do it.
They all belong to a secret online network that rarely sleeps. A private chat group we're calling the Defectors. But the very real women involved regularly watch over heart-stopping escapes by Gulf Arab women to the west. Young women who've never met, yet helping each other help themselves to plan gutsy, one-way defections, preferably to Canada. A dangerous gamble that could cost them everything.
I would be on the group 24/7. We're all sisters to each other, yeah.
If one of you was leaving, how would the conversation go?
No one sleeps. We all stay awake just to check, yeah.
As a Gulf Arab woman, laws, family traditions, or both see you effectively as a minor, unequal to a man. In Saudi Arabia, you can't travel without a male guardian, or even get a passport without their permission. And in a region where family honor revolves around the behavior of its women,
No, he's not my father! He's not my father! He's not my father! You're not telling me! You don't know this!
escaping could get you locked up and beaten. Renouncing Islam, possibly worse. Despite those dangers, the ultimate protest is a flight out. R was a special education student, often beaten at home, her movement severely restricted. Before graduating high school, she'd secretly chosen to leave Islam, then graduated to a decision to leave home. We've changed her name to protect her identity.
My mom was like planning for me to get married. She would bring other ladies to come to the house to look at me so they could choose me for their son. And my mom would like make me look pretty, and then she would just set me down so the ladies can look at me, and then they could choose if they wanted me or not.
So you chose the hard way?
Yes, I chose to leave now, then later, yeah.
Long before R's decision, the defectors were indispensable for her day-to-day survival. But for discussing plans for her escape, they became critical.
We were looking through like what best flight was for me, like to leave, which was 11 a.m. Yeah, we were looking through like the prices because I didn't have that much money to leave with.
2 weeks later, R walked out the door, terrified someone would be onto her. It was a whole nerve-wracking hour to the airport, and she still had one more stop to make.
I told my mom I had an exam at 8 a.m. So I left, I went to the university. There is a fingerprint thing where like you have to like, your parents get a message.
To prove that you were actually attending.
Yeah, so I did the fingerprint thing and my mom did get the message, but I didn't actually go into university. So I left. I was scared that they would stop me at the airport. Like the security guards would tell me like, why are you leaving alone? You've never left the country alone.
This is what she and so many others fear most.
My name is Dinali and I'm a Saudi woman who fled Saudi Arabia to Australia to seek asylum. If my family come, they will kill me. If I go back to Saudi Arabia, I will be dead.
Dina Ali Lasloum from Saudi Arabia, a name that looms in every fleeing woman's nightmare. So does the name of Princess Latifa Mohammed Al Maktoum, the Dubai ruler's daughter.
If you are watching this video, it's not such a good thing. Either I'm dead or I'm in a very, very, very bad situation.
Both tried to escape and both failed, accused of tarnishing family reputation. Their fate, till today, is unclear. Jay was desperate to leave behind a lifetime of abuse. It would be very risky and costly. She was one exam away from a university degree in the sciences. She'd also campaigned hard for an end to Saudi Arabia's guardianship law.
I was feeling that's my life in danger because I'm an activist on Twitter. I was like always tweeting in the drop guardianship hashtag, talking about how much that system affects Saudi women's life in a negative way.
One day, another online activist was arrested. Jay was using a fake account but realized she could be next. So she gave up on Canada and started planning to escape to Europe. But she didn't know where to start.
I didn't know anything. Like, I didn't know how to get passport, how to get an e-permission to travel. I didn't know like what's the asylum seeking process. Yeah.
So she looked to the defectors, whose members, one by one, were quietly guiding each other abroad. She'd leave a few weeks before Rahaf landed in Canada. But how to slip away from home to the airport undetected? The defectors again stepped in.
I was scared to take an Uber or any driver there because sure he will ask like a girl going to the airport alone what she wants. So one of the group girls, she said that there is a Saudi activist like in the same city you are in and he can help you. At the beginning, like I was so scared.
And you didn't know him? You'd never met this guy?
Yeah, never. But I was saying to myself like this is the only option, like just do it or die.
Do it or die. So she did. But there was an even bigger fear that once her family found out, their reach would extend beyond Saudi borders. It's why we're hiding her identity.
I've heard a lot of stories about girls they detained inside the airplane.
Yeah, and you were afraid the same would happen to you.
Yeah, and they didn't allow them like to get out.
We were very, very scared for her, yeah. It was like, It's just like, it's very scary because you never know what happens, because she wouldn't always contact us when she's at the airport.
M already knew that when she's mentioned leaving, family threatened it would cost her life. Her friends online gave her the courage to leave anyway. She arrived in Canada last summer. We're not saying where for her security.
When I first went to university, I became an atheist with time. I realized how bad of a situation I was in.
Did you tell anybody you became an atheist?
Yes, I did. I told my brother, and he threatened to kill me. And that's why I decided I have to leave.
We can't reveal every detail of M's departure. It could be life and death for those involved. Even the defectors limit what they say online, concerned about infiltrators. Every step of this is fraught with danger.
Was there an easier solution for you? Could there have been another way?
I don't know. Because even if I moved to another city in the country, they can simply go to the police and say, our daughter is missing, and they would bring me back.
I came to Macedonia, running away from Dubai.
The defectors are always shining the light back, keeping up the vigil for others who follow. Right now, it's a mother of 4 pleading for asylum in North Macedonia, threatened with deportation back to the UAE.
Her name is Hind al-Buluki, and there's a hashtag going on called Save Hind.
You've been following it?
Yes, a lot of people are tweeting about it.
As I've been threatened from my father, his big brother, my brother, that they will make my life hell.
It's just heartbreaking to hear like she's about to cry too, like it's sad. She's most likely is gonna get deported if no one notices what's happening to her there.
When we come back, the defectors' social media lobbying worked for Rahaf, but will it work for Hind?
There is no justice here. They don't care. Especially if you're a female, your life is so disposable.
With her gripping story, Rahaf Mohammed became the public face of a quiet but growing exodus from Gulf Arab countries.
Rahaf wanted Canadians to see that she's arrived at her new home.
But the outcome, speedy asylum in Canada, is anything but typical.
How does it feel like to be in Canada?
No such certainty for these defectors, who must wait for their asylum hearings, a process that might still end with their deportation.
I didn't know what to do. They came to me asking for my passport, for my ID.
Deportation back to the Emirates is what Hind al-Buluki feared after escaping to North Macedonia. R has been busy getting the word out.
What worries you about Hind's case?
It's just not a lot of people are on the case. It didn't get as much attention as Rahaf did, and she's most likely is going to get deported if no one notices what's happening to her there.
There is no justice here. They don't care. Especially if you're a female, your life is so disposable.
Remember the Emirati princess, Latifa, was forcibly brought home. Human Rights Watch and others demanded to know her whereabouts. Groups that often call out the UAE for treating women as lesser in marriage, divorce, and as victims of domestic violence.
No, he's not my father! He's not my father! He's not my father! You're not for me! You don't know this!
And then there was Saudi Dina Ali Lasloum. 2 years ago, she was dragged onto a plane and taken home. And not a word since. It was Lasloum's failed attempt that moved Saudi psychiatrist Dr. Talib Al Abdul Muhsin to act. He too claimed asylum in Germany after his atheist views elicited threats at home.
I called UNHCR, I called Amnesty International. I did everything I could to save her, but that failed. And when this happened, I thought I have to do something. I must open a website on which I provide advice for Saudi people interested in asylum.
Dr. Al Abdul Muhsin says almost all who ask his help are women between 18 and 30. And there have been more since Rahaf's escape. They're well-educated and mostly ex-Muslim like him. He's asked us to conceal his identity now.
They asked me about the asylum process, asylum benefits. How can a woman leave Saudi Arabia and make it to asylum country? They asked me about everything. I call it an encyclopedia.
The website, wearesaudis.net, has grown into an exhaustive living manual, banned in Saudi Arabia and only accessible with a workaround. But for many women in the region, it is a handrail to freedom.
So this is telling you basically how to claim asylum in Canada.
Yeah, and these are basically the two ways for Saudi asylum seekers. Mm-hmm. This is only about the asylum process inside Canada.
Inside Canada, okay. So how are you getting this information?
I don't rely a lot on internet because, what you read is different than the real experience. So I try to gather all information from people who are already there in the asylum country.
Mm-hmm. In other words, it's still asylum seekers helping each other help themselves. But the website puts it all in one place.
Did you correspond with Dr. Talib?
Yes.
What kind of questions did you ask him?
I would ask him, what do I say? What do I even say when I see the officer? I didn't even know what to do.
So what did he tell you to tell the officer?
Just say, I want asylum, yeah.
And that's what you said?
Yeah. The day, as soon as I saw the officer, I couldn't even speak. I was just looking at him, and he was like, yes. He wanted me to give him my passport. I kept, holding it, looking at him. I was so scared.
But you said those words?
Yeah.
So Save Hind,
yes.
That's the hashtag. What's the latest?
It's just trying to ask the UN, anyone who can help. You could see here Dr. Talib.
So he's tweeting about her.
Yeah, I think he was the first one to do so actually.
He always seems to know the latest and has an update on Hind's case.
So this is the reception center for foreigners, Ghazi Baba. That's where she is being held. I want to tell people that she is about to be deported.
According to her Twitter account, Hind has more recently been allowed to travel to Germany, a reprieve for now.
I love being here.
Though it is some relief, Hind joins nearly 24 of the Defectors group and countless other asylum seekers in a state of limbo. Not yet entirely safe, not yet at home either.
I always just bought my books online and just read them at home. I didn't have a library to go to. So it's exciting, something new.
They left everything behind. For R, it was many loved ones and her precious books.
When people look at you, what is it that they don't see?
They don't see a girl who escaped. They don't see a girl who left her family to have freedom. So I'd sacrifice anything for it.
He left no time to regret, kept his lips wet with his same old safe bet.
There is no doubt this is a solo existence now, liberating, just like singing is for M, but with no guarantees.
Tears dry, get on without my guy. I threw everything away, and it was very liberating to get out without any hijab or anything, because it makes you feel like I'm free.
Free, though also lonely and poor. And yes, tearful, about walking away from their achievements too, like the science degree Jade just about finished.
Yeah, so it was just like one final exam. Like I was just wishing that I just could have like one more day.
Here too, the defectors stand in for family, but just online. How much closer they would be if only they could meet in person.
Like she was helping me a lot, and we were planning to meet each other, but like every time something happened, then we can't meet. So yeah, I'm excited.
Oh my God. I would call it a revolution, yeah. Yes, because it's changing. I feel like it's changing history of Arab women.
How you doing? I'm so good. You're so beautiful.
يا ربي. تعرفين هي طلعت قبل صح؟
Oh my God. أنا ما كنت أدري.
We've always been silenced. Yes.
And you're no longer silent.
Yes.
I can't believe finally.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Me too. I'm so very happy to see you.
You too.